the other day. So, the bottom line of this video today is, purpose of this video, I am going to be referencing the Philippines a lot. However, some of this also applies to the country you want to go to study. So the first one on the list of what you should really take into consideration before traveling abroad to study is a sponsor. Yes, a sponsor. As obvious as it may sound, you need a sponsor. I mean, only a dumb person is gonna put their things together and decide to board a plane, go abroad, where you know nobody, and you wouldn't have a sponsor in your home country footing your bills. So you want to make sure. So you would want to make sure your parents are supporting your plans to study abroad because it's no joke. Studying abroad requires a lot of financial commitment. You need a lot of money. Take, for example, just one semester in a private university in the Philippines would take probably tuition, probably about $2,000 to $2,500. That's just your tuition. You have to consider paying the alien fee. You have to consider feeding. You have to consider entertainment. You have to consider rent and all of that. So, if, say for example, you want to go for a course of 4 years, and first semester, and mind you, here in the Philippines, there are probably 2 semesters or 3 semesters in a school year. So, one semester you're probably spending about, say, including tuition, feeding, and rent, and all of them. Say, let's just say approximately $6,000. That's US dollars, and you have 3 semesters in a year, in a school year. So, what are we looking at? Say 6 times 3, we having about 18, right? $18,000. That's a whole lot of money for 1 year. Now you put all of that together into 4 years, for example, and you know what you're into. So if you do not have a sponsor, whoever it may be, your parents, a husband sponsoring the wife, say the government or your company, whoever is sponsoring you, they should be committed for the whole period of time you will be studying, because that is one of the major issues that I have seen people face in the Philippines. Money, 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 money. When it comes right down to it, it's all about the money, really. So make sure you have a sponsor that checks out and they're willing to sponsor you for the whole duration of your study. So what we have next on the list is, do not assume you will get a job. Yes, here in the Philippines, it comes with a package. So when you have made up your mind to study in the Philippines, you will not get a job. Okay, most times you get a tourist visa from Nigeria. When I came to the Philippines to study, me and my friends, we got a tourist visa. When we got here to the Philippines, it got converted into a student visa. But I hear these days, they just give you a student visa from Nigeria. So, with that student visa, you're telling the government of the Philippines that you agree to just come to the Philippines to study and do nothing else but study. So, I know the mindset of most of us coming from Africa, especially from Nigeria. You would want to say, okay, I'll just study and then I'll get a part-time job. It's not going to work, at least legally. In the books, you are here in the Philippines as a student. If you would like something on the side, you probably want to set up a business online from Nigeria. You make sure your business is foolproof and it's going to make you money when you come to the Philippines. Whatever business you want to do online, that's your business. But make sure you do not have the mindset of getting employed, gainfully employed in the Philippines. It's not going to work. No one is going to employ you with your student visa. Remember that. However, if you were coming to the Philippines to work, your visa would probably be a commercial visa, or some other kind of arrangements that allows you to be able to work in the Philippines. That said, do not have the intention of coming to the Philippines on a student visa and expect to get gainfully employed. It's not going to happen. If that is your plan, just sit back in Nigeria or wherever it is you want to come from in Africa, because it's not going to work out. I've seen a lot of people getting into this mess. You come to the Philippines with the intention of working or probably trying to support yourself and try to make your feeding and rent from your part-time job and expect the rest of the money to come from Nigeria. No. Everything should be coming from Nigeria or whatever African country you're coming from. The Philippine government won't let you work on a student visa. Please remember that. So, what next do we have on here? Learn the language. Okay, here in the Philippines, the national language is known as Tagalog widely. Most of the locals will refer to it as Filipino. So, you might want to take some time, learn one or two words to be able to carry on transactions in the marketplace while you want to take public transportation, even in school. Some of your professor will teach you in Filipino. Remember that. They're going to teach you in Filipino, and it doesn't really concern them if you understand it or not. In some cases, the school regulates that the professors teach in English, but it's still got to be some form of code mixing and all of that. So you would have to learn a little bit of the language just to make sure you get along with the locals. You want to go to the market, you want to transact with a typical local. You would want to make sure you understand the language. Things like maganda umaga, putang ina mo, joke. That's a curse word. So you want to learn words like makano, which means how much. When you go to the market, you want to learn things like maganda umaga, which is good morning. Um, Kaina, which is let's eat, and all of that. The little words that let you be able to go around and carry on the transactions. You want to learn how to ride the jeepney. You want to learn how to ride from one point to another without having to bombard the rider with English, because most of them wouldn't. So the next on the list is you want to make sure your papers are up to date. Yes, your legal papers, your immigration papers. You want to make sure they are up to date. This is something really important. Just like having a sponsor, you want to make sure you do not overstay in a foreign country. You want to make sure your papers are up to date, everything checks out. So, if need be, you want to go to Nigeria for vacation, you can do that. So, not having your papers up to date can lead to a lot of troubles for you. Yeah, I've been there. I know what it is. A lot of people have been there. A lot of people are stuck in this country today because they have handled the issue of processing their papers with a lot of how do I put it? I'm looking for the word. They haven't taken it seriously, so they let it expire and they do not renew it when you're supposed to renew it. And mind you, if you do not renew your papers, you just keep on getting penalties. And let's assume you're supposed to renew your papers for like 8,000 pesos, and you do not do it the first month. It accumulates the penalties, and before you know it, in 6 months' time, you're paying double that amount for what you should have done for 8,000 pesos. So 16,000 pesos in the first 6 months. After a year, it jumps up to probably more than 20,000 pesos. It keeps on going and going and going that way until you do something about it. So you want to make sure you put aside the money that you would use to sort out your papers. In most schools, they have liaison officers that will take care of this aspect of your study in the Philippines. However, in some other schools, they do not have liaison officers. So that brings us to the last part of the things you should really make sure on your list if you're planning to study in the Philippines. You want to make sure you choose a school that has a liaison officer. Why is this important? Because these people will handle your papers for you. They're designated by the school to handle your papers. So you want to choose a school that has a higher proportion of foreign students enrollment. So you want to go to a school where there's a large number of foreign students from all over the world, like Nigerians, Kenyans, Japanese, Americans, Mexicans, Papua New Guineans, Saudi Arabia, Sudanese. There's a lot of them, foreign students here in the Philippines. I could give you a list of a few schools around Manila in the University Belt. There's De La Salle, there's University of Santo Thomas, there's Adamson University, there's the Far Eastern University, there's Emilio Aguinaldo University. This is just to mention a few of the universities with a high number of foreign students enrolled in that school. So this has made these schools designate probably one or two liaison officers to handle your papers. If you are going to enroll in a school without a liaison officer to do all of that run around for you, so your papers can be up to date, from the first day you get into the Philippines as a student and you have your visa converted from a tourist visa, or probably you already have a student visa from Nigeria or whatever African country you're coming from, you want to make sure you know what next to do. You want to make sure you know how to get to the immigration desk designated to students, because they do it in different places. A particular place is designated to students and the other one is designated to the other foreigners in the Philippines. However, if you are in a school where there's no liaison officer, you can do it by yourself. No one is going to stop you from going to the immigration desk for students. Don't let no one lie to you about going to the immigration desk. You can go there yourself as long as your papers are intact and you would like to process a renewal. No one is going to hold you. No one is going to stop you from doing it. And you need to be mindful of third parties that would offer to do these things for you. Some might not be exactly honest about it, though we have a couple of tried and trusted individuals in the Philippines that do this. And if you would like to know probably one or two of them, drop a comment down below and I'll be getting back to you. So that's that for that. I hope you enjoyed the video today. We're gonna be talking about a lot more things on this channel. Please subscribe, hit the notification button so you will be getting notifications once a new video drops on this channel. Thank you very much for your support and thank you for listening. My name is Ismail. Thanks for watching.